So, how about we have a little metaphysical corner?
I'm down.
Corner. And what I thought would be interesting to get your take on time. Is time real or is time an illusion?
Right. So here's the thing.
Is this real? Am I real? Are you real? What is going on?
Right. I think we're a simulation, but I mean, totally. But here's the thing. And I saw this item for our metaphysical corner, and I thought I should reach out to Brian and tell him the following. But then I'm like, no, I'm going to save it for the podcast because I'm just going to be honest with you. Certain things in my life, I just have an intellectual barrier to. For example, division. I don't know how to divide anything, and I admit it. Not even the simplest division. I don't get it. As soon as I see that line and two dots, I'm like, I'm peace out. Okay. Another thing that I can't comprehend is time and time travel, especially. Now, I love science fiction. I love time travel movies, but I'm always the one pausing and saying, can you explain to me what that means? Can you tell me how that is even possible? I don't understand what's happening. How come they're I don't get it.
I'm never ever watching Doctor Who with you, and we are never going to talk about Doctor Who on the podcast. I'm obsessed with Doctor Who, but I also, I take it for what it is, and I don't think too heavily into how does that work, how does that happen. I just accept that for this show, that is exactly how it works.
Well, I have to understand. It's like words for me. So if I can't pronounce the word in my brain, I cannot read this book. That's why I can't read Dune. I'm like, who are all these people? If I can't say it with my inner voice, I cannot. When I was in Finland, when I was in Helsinki, all of the street names were like this long with only consonants and two vowels. And I'm like, I will never be able to anchor this in my consciousness. I will be lost in Helsinki forever. And so I was very careful when I was walking around on my own. I stayed like in this 1 block radius because every single street was like that. Similarly, if I can't understand why Doctor Who is popping through time portals and what the science beneath that is, I cannot connect with the show. I will not be able to connect with the show. So the fact that you're talking about time, I don't get it. What is time? I know I'm getting older.
Yeah.
I know the sun comes up. I know it goes down. Something's happening, and we can gauge it. So it's a construct that, is it man-made? I don't know. I'm scared. I don't understand.
Well, I think obviously the clocks, the watches, all of that man-made, and to designate, sun up to sundown and, what happens in between. But it's always fascinated me that, we have birthdays and, Christmas comes every year and all of these things. And yes, we are aging. And I think about just, waking up at the particular time to wake up and then we have to work for 8 or 9 hours if, you have a day job, that kind of thing. And it's just all so fascinating. And then you get into people that, well, time, it's just, it goes around. And so and then there are people that say, well, everything that has happened is happening and will happen. And then now I'm lost because I'm like, well, I don't want to do this again. Please no, thank you. So I don't know. I've just always been fascinated by time.
Well, I made a post recently on Facebook, and I'm shockingly still on Facebook, and I rarely post there anymore, but I just every now and again. And I said, my sneaking suspicion, and it's been creeping up on me for quite some time now, is that history is a lie. Okay, your roaring 20s. Really? I think we all just came online. And I don't even know that we came online at around the time of our birth. What if we just came online last week? And we have embedded in us is history and all these stories and mythologies that we're given in order to feel connected to this universe that we're in. But how come little kids, how come teenagers have the same sort of sense of context that I do in some ways? And I'm trying to articulate this correctly, but like things from the 50s and things from the 60s, like younger people have the same kind of sense about that I do. Am I making sense? Who's to say? And I also think when we reincarnate, I used to always figure, well, we're just going to reincarnate linearly. After I die, I go up into a space. I do whatever I do. I dance around a little bit. I talk to Jesus. Then I come down 20 years later and I start another life. Now I'm thinking, absolutely not. You can probably pick and choose what timeline you want to pop into. And I, for whatever reason, decided to incarnate into this one. Maybe I've been here many times before. And maybe I chose it because I got to see what life was like before the internet, and then the internet, and the downfall of society. So I wanted to be here to see it and feel all that. I don't know. Timelines are interesting. And also, have you been out of body? Have you been in the fourth dimension or other dimensions where you can actually experience that there is no time?
Yeah.
As soon as you think something, it happens.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it is different here, for sure.
It is very different. And going out of body and having those moments where when you come back into body, you can say, oh, for 9 minutes I was, but when you're out of body, it's like that's all there is, and everything is there and not.
It's happening. It's happening right there.
It's just all there, and it's like there's no time, but it's all time. I don't know. Am I making sense?
Yep.
And
you are making
all
sense.
Just in this. I don't know. It's very, very, very fascinating. This is probably not even something that's great for a metaphysical corner, because we could go on and on and on and on about it. But
and not sound intelligent.
Not at all. But that's the.
I will sound really dumb.
But I think that's the whole point. This is our perspective on these topics. It's just.
Have you seen the movie Coherence?
No.
It's on Prime, and it's on Prime, and it's a time travel movie about these people at a dinner party who, I believe it's time travel or layered dimensions, but it's actually really, really good.
Oh,
really, really good.
I saw the trailer for it. It is like dimensional, timey-wimey stuff. Yes. I will watch it.
It's really good. Okay. That's a movie that I enjoyed that had some time travel in it, but I don't know.
But you enjoyed it, and it had time travel.
I did.
So you understood the science.
And I could understand. I understood something was happening, and it was weird, and I liked it.
Okay. But that's the thing.
So
it's got to entertain you. It has to entertain you.
That's right.
Watch it.
At the end of the day, if it's not entertaining, why am I doing it? Right.
Like Miami. Why are we watching Miami? Is it that entertaining?
Well, we're going to continue because I ordered Peacock because you told me to.
I did.
And I'm like, that's the only thing. So we're going to continue to watch it. I get it. It doesn't feel as we're not going back.
We're not going back.
We're not going back to Miami. But yeah, those are my opinions on the metaphysical corner. I do want to say for everybody listening that we are going to continue this conversation. We're going to talk about our upcoming weight loss journey, our 600-pound lives. We're going to talk about what we plan to do and what's happening in our lives. And we might talk about some other things as well. But for that, we are actually going to upload those segments to our new YouTube channel. We got a YouTube. We got a YouTube. Ooh, baby. Got a YouTube. That's right. We're on YouTube, and we're going to upload the full episodes of our podcast probably a couple of days after they're uploaded in the form of a podcast. We're also going to upload clips. So the little segments that we have in the podcast, we're going to upload those as video clips so you can see us actually talking and our faces and stuff, which will be fun. And then you'll get some additional extra content about our pudginess and what we're doing about that. If anything, we are. We're totally doing stuff about that.
We are.
We are doing stuff about that. And you can hear all about it on our YouTube channel. So if you want to check that out, and we would love if you did, drop down into the description of this podcast. There is a link to our YouTube channel. Click on it and then like, subscribe, comment. Please support us. We want to continue to make these episodes because
share
they're
with
so
everyone.
fun.
Share with all your friends.
Tell them about us.
Like get together with your friends and watch together as a group and talk.
That's a party. It's a party. It's a party. It's a spirit pop party. And we'll have segments called After Pop.
Yes.
Because we're going to continue to talk.
Yes,
people.
we continue to
Continuing to talk.
After Pop, it's great. It's
After Pop. So check out our YouTube for this extra content. And if you haven't yet liked or subscribed to this podcast, wherever you're listening to it, I'm offended, personally. I'm like, I don't get it.
Dare they?
Why wouldn't you have done that yet? But because we love you and we're coming from a spiritual perspective, we're giving you grace. But if you could please like, comment, subscribe, do all the social things, we would highly, highly appreciate it. And don't forget we have an Instagram too. Yes. Oh my God.
Please.
What's it called?
Spirit Pop Podcast.
Spirit Pop hyphen. No, Spirit Pop underscore podcast.
Spirit Pop.
Link is also in the description
yes, it is.
to make it easy
Link
for you.
it.
Follow us.
Follow us.
Interact with us. We want to hear from you.
We want to hear from you.
Mm-hmm.
I was making echoes like time.
I love it. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out with us for another fun episode of the Spirit Pop Podcast. We'll be back next week to talk about trashy things up and down and sideways. And until then, never forget. I mean, what would we like them to not forget? Never forget.
Never forget that we love you. We do.
Oh,
and we appreciate you so much. We have gratitude for you.
Amen to that, brother.